Welcome friends, old and new, to miscellaneous time. Hey, you guys aren't in the same place. Well, technically we are. It's the same garage. We just had some difficulties with our background and set. It should be resolved by the next video. Although this setup is kind of convenient. It could come in handy when we move off to college. But we're not worried about college right now. It's high school graduation time again, and a lot of you seniors have already gotten your diplomas, and me and Bryson are getting ours in a couple of days. So before we get that diploma, we would like to reminisce. What we have here is an organized list of K through 12 memories. We picked one memory per grade apiece, focusing more on the little ones rather than the big life-changing ones. Let's get started down memory lane. This first memory is one that's very important to me. The first time I ever got in trouble at school. Now, I was a good kid, and when I walked into kindergarten all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, I wasn't expecting anybody to think any less of me than what I thought of myself. I was awesome. So there I was at my round little table in my classroom. I was just soaking up all the knowledge that the teacher had to offer. It was pretty exciting at first, but there's only so much excitement that my little kindergartner attention span could handle. Eventually, I did what I had no idea was the unthinkable and let out a big old yawn. Right away, I knew I'd done something wrong. The teacher turned her head to me as quick as a whip, and her eyes were like fire. Reese, did you just yawn? Yeah? Why'd you yawn so loudly and interrupt class? Now, at the time, I was unaware that all the eating glue and drawing inside the lines with my crayons was so important that I wasn't even allowed to let out a yawn. In fact, I still don't understand why I got in trouble for this. But anyway, Miss Fancher looked at me and she said, "Write-up." I had no idea what a write-up was, but I was devastated. My parents were gonna kill me, surely. I was a goner. I went home with the best cry-eyed face I could muster, and I tried to tell them what had happened at school. Mom, I yawned in class. Okay. Go to your room. And, don't do it again. I felt terrible. I don't know if my kindergarten story can top Old Man Reese's, but I'll try. Picture this. You're in a gymnasium. You have been called not to play basketball, not to play dodgeball, but to tie a shoe. Being in kindergarten, I didn't know how to tie a shoe. Every day before PE class, they would have us all set at this little station. And this one girl, she already knew how to do it. Her name was Macy. Macy would come to the table, done, run away. All little kids had the utmost admiration for her. She was a shoe-tying goddess. Someone else having the status of a god, and that someone not being me, made me feel terrible. I didn't want to rule kindergarten before, but now that I saw that she could that easily, I did. Now hear me out. I know I sound like Macbeth, but there's gonna be a moral at the end of this story. How this story should go is I went home and I tried my very hardest to learn how to tie a shoe. There should be some kind of Rocky Balboa montage, but there wasn't. I just dreamed about shoelaces that night. Is this a shoelace I see before me? I come into gym class the next day. Macy comes over here all confident, and before she gets her hands on that shoelace, I have mine done. I stand up, I walk away, and those kids are looking at me. Here's the moral. I come in the next day, no one care. No admiration aimed my way at all. What is the exact moral here? Admiration is a fleeting thing. Ooh. My next story might not be as riveting as that, but it's pretty good. The time I helped a brother out in hot potato. Also known as the time I first learned that cheaters can get away with cheating. It was music class, and back in first grade, music class just entailed anything to do with music. We would just play whatever, listen to whatever, dance sometimes, play games. As long as music was there, we did it. And music's in hot potato. I, in this particular class, got the opportunity to be the person to start and stop the music. I was the end-all be-all of the game. With this responsibility came the rule that I had to have my back to the people with the potato so that I couldn't stop and start on who I wanted. It was down to 2 people. One was one of my friends. One was some crazy chick that I really didn't like. I don't have to turn around because lo and behold, there's a mirror up in the corner that I can see them with. I know it's just a game of hot potato, but man was I excited. All I had to do was make sure that my trigger finger was ready for this. I started, oops, I did it again. Back and forth, back and forth. It's just those 2 people, back and forth. I don't know the words, cause that's a pretty old song. Boom! I closed my eyes. Did you ever open them? Yes! And my friend won! Yeah! I didn't see that coming. Yeah, nope, there is no twist, there's no lesson. I just cheated and my friend won. Hot potato. We were pretty sleazy and apparently pretty picky too. In this particular instance, picky about pudding. We were sitting around in the classroom and I can't remember the occasion, but the teacher had brought pudding. Half of the pudding she brought was vanilla and half of the pudding she brought was chocolate. No one ever asked if I wanted chocolate or vanilla. This teacher hands me one of the brown cups. I wanted vanilla. I stared at my chocolate pudding and I stared and I stared. The teacher comes over. Bryson, what's wrong? I wanted vanilla. You should have just asked. And she goes and she pulls out a vanilla pudding and she hands it to me and I'm satisfied. And I feel bad at the same time. That's because you know you're a picky little brat. You broke the #1 rule of 1st grade. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit. That's right. I had to learn that the hard way. Get what you get, don't throw a fit. This is really just a memory in its purest form. Me and you were weird kids. There's this book out. It was called Don't Let the Pigeon Ride the Bus. Every single kid wanted to read that book. I read it the best. He had a different homeroom teacher than me, but our homeroom teacher was gone. Sent us over to his. The teacher was like, look what I got. I don't just read this book, I act it out. Everything the pigeon would do in the story, I would act out. Very lively. Don't understand everybody's weird mentality that you were like the greatest thing since sliced bread. I sat down and Bryson's like, let me show you this thing, they love it. He would do some weird crap. She'd read a sentence, crawling around like a dog, start spinning around like a break dancer, doing handstands and making noises and making weird faces. I was sitting there weirded out the entire book. When they get to the last page and they're done with it, everybody applauds. I'm just sitting there. That was not my brother, and I don't know why you people think that was the best thing ever. That was the best thing ever. I said the same thing then, and I'll say it now. Sure, Rustin, whatever. Reese said we were weird kids, and he wasn't lying. Here's my 2nd grade story involving invisible ninjas. We're on the playground, and we see clothing that resemble the attire of a ninja. The robe, the sash, but there is no ninja. H.G. Wells's The Invisible Man put on a ninja outfit. That was what was on our playground, and I swear it was real. We didn't just see a ninja and that was it. No. We were on the playground chasing it around. We see a floating scarf. It was moving as if it were attached to someone's neck. We chased that thing all the way to the little slide, and the scarf is right there in our grass. We go to grab that thing, and it goes straight through. Phased. Maybe we just had such a vivid imagination that all of this was real. This story is over. I will never admit to you again that I think that was real, because I'll be crazy. From now on, that didn't happen. But it did. I know. We said we wouldn't talk about any championships. This is the same level in 3rd grade at the time, it felt like. This is the time that I beat Timmy Keplinger at the reading log. Timmy Keplinger, let's just call him TK, made the mistake of challenging me thrice. First time he challenged me, he said, I bet that you can't read Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Oh my god, Tim. Oh my god. I had no idea what I had to prove to TK. Him telling me that I couldn't read Harry Potter made me want to read Harry Potter, and so I did. And he said, I bet you can't tell me what happened. TK, let me sit you down, because I know it from beginning to end. I told him all of it. Okay, yeah, you told a pretty thrilling yarn there, Reese, but I doubt you read it, and you can prove it on your accelerated reading test. Took the test, hit done. 100%. To the victor goes the spoils, and they had a little chart, and you get a certain number of points depending on the length of the book. That book was long, and so I got 60 stickers, and I won that thing. This next story is a little bit more profound than the other ones. Along our hallway in Nelson Wilkes Heron, there were handprints. All sorts of colors painted on handprints. In come the seniors of that year. The seniors put their hands against the tiny little handprints that I did not know they had placed there. It blew my little tiny mind. For the first time, I realized that I was going to get older. That I would be in their situation. That they were, at one point, in mind. Okay, hopping off that feels train, we'll just move right along to my less profound story about a teacher that would not cooperate with me. There's a lot of lessons to be learned in these memories. This one is that people don't just give you respect. I think I learned that in kindergarten. Well, it took me till 4th grade. We were in the gifted program, and the gifted kids were given the task of making the yearbook for kindergarten through 4th grade. We were at Nelson Wilkes. I was in the 3rd grade section. I told this teacher over and over, I just want them in their natural positions, doing what they're doing in class, and I'll take pictures of them. That's not what happened. This teacher insisted that she knew best. No. Oh, that won't do. That's too boring. Let's have them stand around the Christmas tree. No, natural. No, kids, okay, line up in a pyramid on the Christmas tree. There you go. I was just a little 4th grade kid, and she was the adult, and I started to catch on that she wasn't gonna listen to me. The captions in the yearbook were supposed to be, they were doing this. Kids cheer at a pep rally. The kids were running in the hallway. The kids were busy at work writing on their essays. But I made do. They posed by the chalkboard. They posed by the Christmas tree. They posed with their teacher in the hallway. I'm pretty sure at the time I thought that the yearbook turned out to be pretty awesome. I bet it sucked. No thanks to that uncooperative, children posing teacher. 4th grade was a pretty suckish year for the both of us. For me, I think it was my worst year ever because this was the first and only time that I got a B. It was history. You remember Miss Martin? Miss R. Martin. Not Miss B. Martin. Miss B. Martin was cool. Miss B. Martin rocks. Miss R. Martin, no. So I got a B because of R. Martin. I don't really want to talk about it, so that's it. That's the story. Okay, from nerdy failure to nerdy success. In 5th grade, science class, I was not paying attention at all. Miss Heath is giving some sort of instructional video on the parts of a cell. Reese, can you tell me the parts of a cell? Yeah, probably. I told her every single part. She tried to catch me off guard. I was like, ha! On point with the answer. She told me that I didn't have to take the next test because I had already pretty much done it. Not bad. So in 5th grade, this isn't very significant at all. I didn't win anything. I didn't lose anything. This is just a weird instance that I remembered. But that's okay. This is the point of this video, Bryson. We're all here to listen to you tell your memories. So go ahead. We're listening. Okay. Go ahead. We're listening. So in 5th grade, I was going to PE, and in the hallway from class to PE, I'd meet somebody that was in my class, and we'd race to get to PE. I make eye contact with one of the kids in my PE class, and we start bolting down the hallway, and here comes this ominous voice. It's the loudspeaker. Don't run in the hallway. It catches me so off guard. I stop dead in my tracks. Who did that? How do they know that I'm running in the hallway? I look, and there's a lady in the office, and she's giving me the dead eye, and she has a little mic in her hand. I just make eye contact with her and start walking out the door. That felt like some Big Brother don't think or you'll be arrested by the thought police type stuff. I think from that point on, I walked in the hallway. Thank you for sharing, Bryson. We all learned something, and we're glad you told us that very important story. Okay. Thank you for sharing your story. Since we're all human, hopefully, and we don't have the attention spans that we'd like to, we're just gonna take a break here and say, chop the video in 2. So K through 5 was this video. We'll post the next video, and it'll be 6 through 12. We'll skip the yada yada for now because you'll just get it at the end of the next video. I will squeeze a shout out in though to this channel, Mj Halliwell. He is, I think it's safe to say, our only Algerian friend. He has a really cool channel. He gave us a shout out in his video because he thinks our channel is really cool. We think the same about his. Check out his channel. Hopefully you subscribe. We really love MJ. He's awesome. Make sure to check out our next video when it comes out, and until then, cheers. Cheers.